So Andrew Luck walking down memory lane, injury memory lane, but feeling
Right.
good about it. Are you concerned about him?
Yes. And I think any clear-thinking, right-thinking person would be concerned about Andrew Luck because the truth of the matter is there was zero, Max, nothing, nada to feel good about last night. I mean, I guess you could put a parenthesis in that and throw in the fact, like he did, that he got smoked by Terrell Suggs and is still playing, still standing, still ready to play the next preseason game. But, I mean, if that's your solace, if that's where you run to, if that's your caveat that he could take a hit, you're really scrapping things together here because you and I had a debate yesterday about whether or not Andrew Luck needs to play more. I'm going to suspect that we both got out of that what we wanted last night, but I saw rustiness. I saw a guy that's not ready. I saw a guy that needs to play more football. He completed less than 50% of his passes, and he wasn't even throwing them downfield. Only 2 of his 15 attempts went further, or 2 of his attempts went further than 15 yards. His 3 yards downfield, 4 yards downfield, 5, nothing throws. And he completed less than 40% of them. I like Andrew Luck. I like his introspection, his self-awareness. I like his grind, that he works hard. I'm going to root for Andrew Luck. But the truth of the matter is, if you're looking for positives from last night from the Indianapolis Colts, if you're looking for positives from Andrew Luck, they're hard to find. You have to peer. You have to try hard. That was absolutely, without a doubt, concerning. A guy that hasn't played football in 19 months, roughly, and comes back and completes less than 50% of his passes, if you're not concerned, you're singing happy tunes while walking through the graveyard. You're whistling through the graveyard.
No. I'm not concerned about Andrew Luck. Look, first of all, there are only so many times you can get smoked by Terrell Suggs on your throwing shoulder in your life. So I would save those times for the regular season. In terms that, yes, Andrew Luck's a little rusty. He looked a little rusty, mainly because he held the ball a little long at times. But I am not concerned about him. The eyeball test says, yeah, he's going to be fine. He's got to shake the rust off, and he'll get going. He'll be okay. He's physically okay. He took the hit. He got up. He was all right. Let me tell you what I am worried about. There are a bunch of things on the Colts. The offensive line. Worried about the offensive line, and therefore also the running game, and therefore also the play calling. How do they integrate, or install Frank Reich's offense? And what is Frank Reich's offense going to be, right? Oh, we're going to change things up and give people different looks. Really? It seems like you're running on first down a lot. And so Andrew Luck is constantly in bad situations, 3rd and long. And so Luck is, as usual, being put behind the 8 ball. Now, I don't think the organization is in the same kind of dire straits it was several years ago, necessarily. We'll see how this plays out. They drafted what everyone considers a generational lineman at left guard, and maybe over time the line will start to play better. And this is a preseason game. Frank Reich's play calling will change, and they will get more used to the offense. But in terms of the things to be worried about, his injury, his throwing shoulder, yeah, damn, I wish he wouldn't be in a situation where he is getting smoked by Suggs when it doesn't count. But Andrew Luck looked like a rusty Andrew. I agree, rusty, holding the ball along, rusty Andrew Luck to me. The O-line, the play calling, the running game, those are the things I saw as the problem, and they have been the problem for the Colts the last several years. Andrew Luck will wind up being Andrew Luck again, which is just about as good as it gets.
Yeah, but that's the point, Max. You're having to hearken back to 2 or 3 years ago to make yourself feel better about what you saw last night. The truth of the matter is, the fact that the Colts have offensive line problems is nothing new. From 2012 to 2016, Andrew Luck got hit all the time. So the fact that his offensive line wasn't very good last night, well, what's new? I'll tell you what's new. Andrew Luck wasn't very good. And look, I get it. It's the preseason. Don't overreact to the preseason. At some point, though, we're watching football. Look, if you don't trust me, listen to Andrew Luck. On the sidelines last night, he was asked, how'd you feel about it? Not very good. I didn't play very well. Talked about his completion percentage. He threw an interception in the red zone. So here we are. It's a Colts team who has a familiar offensive line problem, has a familiar weapons problem, and what is unfamiliar? It's Andrew Luck's performance. And for that matter, as long as we're sort of, exchanging parts and trying to find out where the fault lies, what happened when they changed quarterback last night? What happened when they brought in Jacoby Brissette? I got a few things to say about that, which we need to talk about later. But what happened when they brought in Jacoby Brissette? He looked pretty good. You have to see this. You have.
But the difference is, what's the motivation for each player? in the preseason, also playing against different defenses. But what's the preseason really for? A guy like Brissette wants to show his value constantly. A guy like Luck is working on process in the preseason. And so it's like never show a fool half a job. Sometimes you can take things away from preseason.
He has to prove the process
you
to
know
himself.
that I was very impressed with Dak Prescott a couple years ago in the preseason. He had that look and he was playing well because he was trying to prove something. A lot of times veterans in the preseason won't look particularly good because what they're doing is working on things, and you are mistaking process for results.
I'll just say this finally. If you don't like what I have to say, if you don't trust me, listen to others. Listen to Andrew Luck. Listen to Booger McFarland. He was on the call last night. He said it and you said it. Andrew Luck held the ball way too long.
He held the ball a little too long a couple times.
It wasn't on his offensive line. Many of those pressures, many of those sacks, those were on him.
He'll be fine.